Hello students, so I am here to explain you the next topic, which is about chemical reactivity. Whenever we are explaining chemical reactivity, we have to consider both metals as well as non-metals, because chemical reactivity we can't explain on the basis of only one type of element. If that element is losing electron readily, then it will be a reactive metal, and if the element is gaining electron readily, then it will be a reactive non-metal. So both the cases are possible. In a particular group or in a period, the electrons can be lost easily or can be gained easily, so they can be reactivity. We have to explain on the basis of both metals as well as non-metals. So first let me start with reactivity, chemical reactivity across the period. So for that I am considering third period elements. Third period we start with sodium, first group element. First group को belong करता है, then obviously it will have one electron in its valence shell. So you know that loss of one electron is most easier way. So sodium will be the most reactive metal, because loss of one electron is very easy. Now coming to next element, magnesium. Magnesium configuration becomes 282. It has 2 electron in its valence shell. So loss of 2 electron will take little bit time. So the reactivity in terms of metal decreases. जितनी जल्दी सोडियम ने एक इलेक्ट्रॉन को लूज कर दिया, मैग्नीशियम को 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करने में थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा. सो रिएक्टिविटी हैज़ डिक्रीज्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ loss of electron or in terms of metals. Coming to next element, aluminium, 283. Here 3 electrons are there. Now loss of 3 electrons will take much more time. So you can say reactivity further decreases in terms of metal. Now we reach to 14 group element, silicon, carbon, whatever they are. So here configuration will have, the configuration is 284. 4 electrons, you know, they can't be lost or can't be gained. So 4 electrons can only be shared. So sharing will be the slowest process. So you can consider that the 14 group elements, they are least reactive. यहाँ ना हमको मेटल कह रहे हैं ना नॉन मेटल कह रहे हैं, बट द प्रोसेस थ्रू विच दे विल अंडरगो, दैट इज द शेयरिंग प्रोसेस, विल बी द स्लोएस्ट प्रोसेस, बिकॉज फर्स्ट इट विल टेक टाइम टू ब्रेक द ओल्ड बॉन्ड्स एंड देन टू फॉर्म द न्यू बॉन्ड्स. सो हेयर वी रीच टू द लीस्ट रिएक्टिव एलिमेंट. नाउ स्लोली ऑन मूविंग टू राइट साइड, phosphorus configuration becomes 285. 5 electrons are there. Now it will start its reactivity in a different way. It will start gaining 3 electrons. So here the reactivity begins in terms of non-metals. Coming to sulfur configuration 286, 6 electrons are already there. So now it will gain 2 electrons, which will be much easier as compared to gain of 3 electrons in the previous case. So 2 electrons will be gained easily. So reactivity in terms of non-metals further increases. And in case of chlorine, configuration becomes 287. Already it has 7 electrons in its valence shell. Readily it can gain 1 more electron. So the 17 group element will show the most reactivity in terms of non-metal. So we can say in a particular period, reactivity decreases in terms of metal and increases in terms of non-metals. Okay. Now coming to reactivity down the group. What happens when we are moving down the group? You know, atomic size increases and nuclear pull decreases. So all these conditions, they favor the loss of electron. You know, loss of electron will be easier when atomic size will be bigger and nuclear pull will be weaker. So reactivity in terms of metal increases on moving down the group, whereas in terms of non-metal will decrease on moving down the group. क्योंकि नॉन मेटल्स को भी हमें कंसिडर करना है, बिकॉज मेटल एंड नॉन मेटल बोथ कैन बी प्रेजेंट इन अ पर्टिकुलर ग्रुप और अ पीरियड. सो व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रिएक्टिविटी ऑफ मेटल, yes of course metals, the reactivity increases down the group because loss of electron is easier. But in case of non-metals, as atomic size increases, nuclear pull decreases, so gain of electron is difficult. So reactivity in terms of gaining electron by non-metal decreases on moving down the group. Okay. Now I am going to start the next periodic property, that is ionization energy. Here it is, ionization energy. Till now whatever I have explained, I think that you may have learned it in class 9th somewhere. But ionization energy electron affinity and electronegativity, these are the terms which are new for you in class 10th. So I hope everyone to listen carefully, and please send me your doubts in the group if they are having any doubts. Okay, now coming to ionization energy. Whenever we are considering an atom, so of course this is the positively charged nucleus, and these are the outer circular orbit in which the electrons revolve. For example, this is the valence shell of the atom, and this is the negatively charged electron. So whenever we are talking about the revolution of electron across the positively charged nucleus, these electrons are always under the force of attraction which is given by the positively charged nucleus. We always talk about that metals generally lose electron because they have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell, and non-metals gain electron because they have 5, 6 or 7 electrons. But they will not lose electrons by themselves. This process will not take place without any energy change. Why is it so? Because the electrons and the nuclear charge, they have the force of attraction in between. Okay, because they are oppositely charged. The nucleus has positive charge and electrons have negative charge, so they have the force of attraction between them. So whenever the electrons are lost by the metal, for example this is the valence electron and it has to be lost, in that case electrons can't be removed simply. In order to remove this electron from the valence shell, some minimum amount of energy has to be supplied to break this force of attraction between the positive nucleus and the negative electron. Then only the electron will set free and can be lost easily. Do you get this point? The electrons can't be lost simply or without any energy change, because the electrons are under the influence of nuclear pull. So when any metal has to lose electrons, it will lose its electron only when it gains or it absorbs some energy which is required to break this force of attraction, and this energy which is going to break this force of attraction between positive nucleus and electron so that the electron can be lost easily, this energy is called ionization energy. So what is the definition of ionization energy? It is energy required to remove an electron from the valence shell of an isolated neutral gaseous atom to form positively charged ion. Okay, energy, why energy is required, ये तो बात समझ में आ गई होगी. Why energy is required? Because the force of attraction has to be broken down, then only the electron can be lost from the valence shell. So that energy which is used to break that force of attraction is known as the ionization energy. Now what is the meaning of isolated neutral gaseous atom? Whenever we are removing the electron from the atom, that atom has to be isolated from the rest of the group of atoms. हमें उसको बाकी के group of atoms से isolate करना पड़ेगा, separate करना पड़ेगा, अलग करना पड़ेगा to start this process of removing electron. And that atom, of course, it must be neutral. It must be neutral, or you can say it should have same number of electrons and protons. And yes, it would be good that if the atom is in gaseous state, then this process will be easier to carry on. The loss of electron or the gain of electron, whatever the process is done, that will be easier to do with an isolated neutral and gaseous atom. So if the energy is required to remove an electron from the valence shell of isolated gaseous atom, that will be the ionization energy, and that atom after losing electron will of course form the positively charged ion. So let M be the metal, because metals are removing electrons from their valence shell. So first we have to apply some ionization energy, has to be given or has to be supplied. Then only the electron will be lost, and that metal after losing one electron will form a positively charged ion which is named as cations. So ionization energy will be the energy required. Okay, now coming to the factors on which the ionization energy depends. I told you the two main factors are responsible, atomic size and nuclear charge. Whenever I am explaining atomic size, very easily you can explain, greater the atomic size, if bigger is the atomic size, then lesser will be the effect of nuclear pull or weaker will be the force of attraction. So the loss of electron will be easier and very less energy will be required to remove the electron, and you can say that ionization energy will be less. Once again, greater the atomic size अगर बहुत बड़ा होता है तो न्यूक्लियर पुल का असर वीक हो जाता है, उसका फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन वीक पड़ जाता है, जिसकी वजह से इलेक्ट्रॉन का लॉस ईजी हो जाएगा और ज़्यादा नहीं, बहुत थोड़ी सी एनर्जी लगानी पड़ेगी उस कमज़ोर फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन को ब्रेक करने के लिए. सो ऑटोमेटिकली वी कैन से दैट आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी विल बी लेस. बट एंड द सेकेंड फैक्टर इज न्यूक्लियर चार्ज. इफ न्यूक्लियर चार्ज इज मोर, of course the force of attraction will be stronger. जितना तगड़ा force of attraction होगा उस वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन को अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए, उतनी ही ज़्यादा एनर्जी हमें देनी पड़ेगी to overcome that force of attraction so that the electron can be removed. So higher will be the ionization energy. More the nuclear pull, stronger will be the force of attraction, and more energy has to be given to remove the electron from the valence shell. Okay. Now coming to trend of ionization energy down the group and across the period. Down the group क्या होता है? You know, down the group atomic size increases. When atomic size will increase, then of course the nuclear pull will decrease. The effective nuclear pull will decrease. So loss of electron will be easier and very less energy will be required to remove the electron. So we can say that on moving down the group, ionization energy decreases. जितना जितना साइज़ बड़ा होता जाएगा, न्यूक्लियर पुल का असर कम पड़ता जाएगा, थोड़ी सी एनर्जी लगाने से ही इलेक्ट्रॉन इजीली रिमूव हो सकता है. सो आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी विल डिक्रीज. नाउ कमिंग टू अक्रॉस द पीरियड. आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी अक्रॉस द पीरियड, of course on the basis of two factors, that is atomic size and nuclear charge, we can easily explain. On moving across the period, atomic size decreases. अब जब एटॉमिक साइज छोटा होता जाएगा उतना ही न्यूक्लियर पुल जो है वो स्ट्रॉन्गर होता जाएगा. सो मोर स्ट्रॉन्गर न्यूक्लियर पुल विल मेक इट डिफ़िकल्ट to remove the electron and more energy has to be given, then only the electron can be lost. तो बहुत ज़्यादा stronger nuclear pull को तोड़ने के लिए उतनी ही ज़्यादा एनर्जी देनी पड़ेगी. So of course the ionization energy will increases across the period due to smaller atomic size and stronger nuclear pull. But whenever we are explaining the ionization energy across the period, we have to consider two exceptional cases. One in second group and then other in 15th group. So you can check your book. The values of ionization energies are given, but they are showing exceptional value in second and 15th group elements. That exception will not be asked in your exam. Just whenever you write the trend across the period, just you write down ionization energy increases across the period due to smaller atomic size and more stronger nuclear pull, but with exceptions of second and 15th group elements. Just this much you have to write down. And why this exception is there, वो अभी मैं short में समझा दे रही हूँ, फिर कभी time मिलेगा तो I will explain you clearly. The exception is because of the fully filled and half filled subshells. अभी तक आपने सिर्फ KLMN shells के बारे में पढ़ा है. You are not knowing the SPDF subshells. Okay, so actually you know only one condition for stability. आपको एक ही बात पता है, if the valence shell is complete then the element will be stable. लेकिन अभी जब आप subshells के बारे में पढ़ोगे तो stability दो factors पे आ जाती है. When the subshell is fully complete or fully filled and if the subshell is half filled. देखो जब हम S सबशेल की बात करते हैं तो उसमें मैक्सिमम 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आ सकते हैं. उसी तरह से P सबशेल्स में मैक्सिमम 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आ सकते हैं. D सबशेल्स में मैक्सिमम 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आ सकते हैं और F सबशेल्स में मैक्सिमम 14 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आ सकते हैं. तो अब हमारे पास दो कंडीशन है इन सबशेल्स की स्टेबिलिटी की. अगर S सबशेल में 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन है तो स्टेबल है, 1 है तो स्टेबल है. अगर 6 है तो स्टेबल है, 3 है तो स्टेबल है, अगर 10 है तो स्टेबल है, 5 है तो भी स्टेबल है, और 14 है तो स्टेबल है, 7 है तो भी स्टेबल है। यानी कि जब सबशेल्स फुल्ली फिल्ड होती हैं तब भी स्टेबल होती हैं, और जब सबशेल्स हाफ फिल्ड होती हैं तब भी वो स्टेबल होती हैं। ओके, सो डोंट पे more time for, don't give more time for this topic that you will be learning for in your 11th class. So the only you have to explain the trend of ionization energy across the period by saying it will decrease with the exception of second and 15th group.